Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Maharaj Yudhisthira said, "My dear Lord, I wish to hear from you about the principles of religion by which one can attain the ultimate goal of life, devotional service. I wish to hear about the general occupational duties of human society and the system of social and scriptural advancement known as Varnashram Dharma." Please repeat after me. Maharaj Yudhisthira said, "My dear Lord, I wish to hear from you about the principles of religion by which one can attain the ultimate goal of life, devotional service. I wish to hear about the general occupational duties of human society and the system of social and spiritual advancement known as Varnashram Dharma." Purport. Sanatana Dharma means devotional service. The word Sanatana refers to that which is eternal, which does not change but continues in all circumstances. We have several times explained what the eternal occupational duty of the living being is. Indeed, it has been explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jivera Swarupahaya Krishnera Nityadas. The real occupational duty of the living entity is to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even if one prefers to deviate from this principle, he remains a servant because that is his eternal position. But one serves Maya, the illusory energy, material energy. The Krishna consciousness movement, therefore, is an attempt to guide a human society to serving the Personality of Godhead instead of serving the material world with no real profit. Our actual experience is that every man, animal, bird, and beast, indeed every living entity, is engaged in rendering service. Even though one's body or one's superficial religion may change, every living entity is always engaged in the service of someone. Therefore, the mentality of service is called the eternal occupational duty. The eternal occupational duty can be organized through the institution of Varnashram, in which there are 4 Varnas, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra, and 4 Ashramas, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Varnaprastha, and Sannyas. Thus, Yudhisthira Maharaj inquired from Narada Muni about the principles of Sanatana Dharma for the benefit of human society. End of purport. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Litam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadandikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhatta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham karoti vachalam pangalam gayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Dharina Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vistarbhutale Shrimati Tamal Krishna Goswami Namne. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vistarbhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namne. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shinnavadi Pasyata Desatarine Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Maharaj Yudhishthira said, "My dear Lord, I wish to hear from you about the principles of religion by which one can attain the ultimate goal of life, devotional service. I wish to hear about the general occupational duties of human society and the system of social and spiritual advancement known as Varnashram Dharma." Before I start to speak on the Srimad Bhagavatam, I would like personally and also invite all of you to make a small special prayer for the protection of the Bhagavad Gita in Russia, which is today is the day of the court case, and as we know, the Bhagavad Gita is the backbone of our maintenance of our society, institution, culture, religion, wherever we call it. It's the platform where the society of Krishna consciousness and which everything is resting upon. So it is actually the floor for our sustainment. So if we could kindly offer a small special prayer that it will be protected. Of course, Krishna, Mari Krishna Rakeke, Rake Krishna Mari. If he wants bail out this crisis, he can do that, but he wants to intensify the desire of the devotee and to see how much we are concerned about this book, which is, it's not just a book, it's not just a paper, but it's the Lord Himself. It's the sweet song of Krishna, and many of us, we become a devotee due to the mercy of this book. So how much we are indebted to this book. So each one of us, we are the good fortune that came out from this book. We are the produce of the mercy of this book. And if we could internally offer a little special prayer to Lord Nrsingadev, that he will kindly protect the devotees and the Bhagavad Gita from being abolished as an extremist book in Russia. Of course, these demons, they don't know what they are doing. So therefore, we are very much concerned. And so if you could please offer, just for a few seconds, a nice little prayer, because this morning there will be a court case, and only Krishna knows the outcome. Jai Nrsingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. So the verse that Maharaj Yudhishthira is inquiring from Narada Muni it's very much the mood of a disciple that inquires from the Guru. He's asking, what is the eternal behavior, the eternal occupation? It's not asking about something temporary. So temporary things. I mean, even the format of the forest society of these four castes, namely Brahmanan, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, and those are the four ashram. And then you have the four castes, which they are in one sense temporary in this world. It's the function of the individual according to his nature, to his karma, guna and karma. But the eternal occupation of the soul, which has nothing to do with these four varna and four ashram, it is something else. And Maharaj Yudhisthira, it's actually asking the ultimate duty. What is the ultimate duty of the living entities? Even if they become liberated from these four varna and four ashram, what is it? And Lord Chaitanya gives the verdict here. He says, Jivera Swarupaya Krishnera Nityadas. That it's the devotional service to Krishna. This is the supreme duty of the jiva, the soul, to carrying on serving the society, serving family, serving the spiritual master, serving the community, the country, and ultimately serving God. So the service is always there for everybody, but we very often forget that ultimately the service should be for the satisfaction of Krishna, of God. And here, Maharaj Yudhisthira is actually trying to remind us that yes, it is good to carrying on serving, but one should always keep the aim, the object of this service, which is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vasudeva, what is it? Vasudeva Param Tapa, Vasudeva Param Jnanam, Vasudeva Param Yoga, Vasudeva Param Gati. You could see that austerity, it's only to be performed for the pleasure of Vasudeva. And any yoga we perform should be performed for the pleasure of Vasudeva. Any knowledge that we acquire in this world is actually ultimately to understand Vasudeva. And even a liberation for the impersonalist, if we want a liberation, then it should be to enter into the kingdom of Vasudeva. So that's why Sarva Karana Karanam is the cause of all causes. He's behind every objective, every intention, every endeavor that the living entities they perform in this world. So why not dedicating our service directly for the pleasure of Vasudeva? So devotional service is the ultimate action which it's aimed to please the Lord in the heart. And this is the original constitutional position of the soul. So Maharaj Yudhisthira is trying to amplifying the understanding of the reader of the Bhagavatam that there is no other duty beyond the duty of service to Krishna. Otherwise, karma bandhana, as soon as we forget that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer of all our yoga, sacrifice, knowledge, and so on and so forth, then we become entangled into the I and mine. We become entangled into the fruit of our action, and it will bind the living entities to take a birth again and again and again, trying to satisfy the senses, which ultimately they are never satisfied. Dusparena nalena cha. Krishna says in the Gita that if someone try to offer service to his body and his mind and his senses, then it is a futile attempt, because they are never satisfied. They want more and more and more. It's like pouring fuel on a fire. The senses are on fire all the time, and they're always lamenting and hungering for more. But the sense gratification is like a fuel. In other words, the material energy is like a fuel. More we are in contact with this material energy, and more the senses they become hot, more they go on fire. Dusparena nalena cha means never. There is no depth to the satisfaction of the senses. There is no cup. There is no. We cannot fathom the extent of the greed that someone can cultivate in the heart. We cannot fathom the extent of the lust, the anger, greed, madness, illusion, envy. There is actually not cup for these things. There is no end. You cannot measure it. It can grow more and more and more and more. There is no depth to it. So therefore, the solution is to extinguish the demands of the body, the mind, the senses. And how do we do that? The answer is given here by understanding that you carry on using your senses and your mind. That's what Maharaj Narada Muni is instructing Maharaj Yudhisthira, that you carry on serving, but with the understanding that it should be done for Krishna. You carry on using your senses, your mind, your intelligence, but you use them in Krishna service. Rishikesha Rishikenam Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Krishna doesn't say, don't use your senses anymore. Don't use your mind anymore. We need these things. They could be used for self-realization, and they could be used for self-degradation. You cannot practice spiritual life without using your mind, your senses, your body, while we are in this world, because we are not liberated. So therefore we make, how do you say, there is a saying in English, you make a good use of a bad bargain. Does it say like that? So the bodies are a bad bargain, the senses are a bad bargain. We got it due to karma. Shishirada Gokulananda ki jai. Due to our karma, we got these senses, which are by nature very, very wild and very dirty. Atahashi Krishna namadi nabhavet griyam indriyani. Krishna himself, he says, that Atahashi Krishna namadi nabhavet griyam indriyani. The senses are by nature very contaminated. They're not pure. But we could use them. When we use them in Krishna service, then it becomes the Sanatan Dharma, the eternal occupation, becomes, we can purify the senses to the original state of existence by using them in Krishna service. So it is said that the way to purify the intelligence and the mind is to read from books. This is an internal prayaschitta that a spiritualist, he uses his mind to absorb transcendental knowledge, the message of God, by reading these books. You can get purified by using the sense of touch, by dressing the deities, by distributing those books. You can purify the sense of vision by having a darshan of Krishna, rather than contemplating on mundane manifestations, mundane forms. You can purify the sense of smell by smelling the prasadam, the incense, the smelling the body of a pure devotee. You can purify you never know, maybe someone next to you is a pure devotee, and you should, even if you smell some sweat or something, you shouldn't think it's mundane. I saw you laughing, and looking at him, so I thought maybe it doesn't smell good, but actually it smells very nice. We can purify any senses of the body by using them in a proper way. So this is you can purify the mouth, which is one of the most important senses, by engaging it in Krishna service, in chanting Hare Krishna, preaching about Krishna, taking prasadam. The sense of mouth, mukhya, which is the greatest one to control. The whole spiritual life it depends upon the power of the mouth. That's why it is the greatest, the biggest hole that the body has, is the biggest gate. The body has 9 gates, and the mouth is the biggest one, and therefore that's why is the most difficult to control. Very often we are tempted. Rasanji vipina. Vipina means the power of speech, the power of speaking. We have a tendency to speak. As soon as something comes in the mind, we have to express it through this gate. Rasanji and Vipina. Rasanji is the power of taste, power of eating, and Vipina is the power of speech. So, we have to be very, very careful. How do we use this gate, the mukhya, You can offer prayers, chant mantras, do preaching, but don't engage in blaspheming, don't engage in bad language, gossiping. These are all this gate can lead the soul to a liberation, but it also can lead the soul to hell. So it is from this, mainly in Kali Yuga, it is said that even a thinking of an offense, it's not taken seriously by the demigods. The reaction, you will be probably exempt from the reaction of thinking badly about someone. It's just that Krishna doesn't like it. In the early days, at the time of Satya Yuga, people just by thinking something bad, they were exposed. Great personality, they could see that something, is going on. The mind was speaking very loud in those days. But now you could be forgiven, but when the mind drags the desire to thinking, feeling, willing, first you think, then you feel, and then you... Willing means then you have to express with your mouth. And that's when the offenses, they come. And it's too late. When the verbal offense is there, then it's feeding more fuel to the anger. And then that's when the body also, it wants satisfaction by expressing more anger in form of violence. And that's how you have bullies in this material world. You have wars. You have people who are a troublemaker because they can't control initially their mind and then their mouth and then ultimately their body. So the mouth is very important senses to control, and we can dovetail these senses by using it in Krishna service. Rather than gossiping and criticizing someone, we should try to say something good, because everybody has something good. Just like Prahlad Maharaj saw so much good in Hiranyakashipu, not just a little bit, because anyone who is in this world is connected to God, and anyone who is in connection with God is a good person, ultimately. But we think, he's very bad, he's totally bad. And there is nothing good. Now, that means that we are completely blind. We have the mind like a Duryodhan. When Maharaj Yudhisthira sent Duryodhan to see if there was some good in this world, he came back and he said, I couldn't find anyone good. They're all bad. So a person who is a fault-finding, a person who is always in a negative frame of mind, it's like that. It's like a Duryodhan. And Krishna doesn't like that. So therefore, Maharaj Yudhisthira here is inquiring from Narada Muni about the ultimate goal of life, which is devotional service. Therefore, we dovetail these senses in the service of Krishna. And in this way, we advance in Krishna consciousness.